that's bad. Other stuff is. I don't think cigarettes are as bad as everybody makes them out to be. Honestly, I mean,
That's a tough sell
really
right
don't.
there.
I really
That's a
don't.
tough sell,
Everybody
partner.
acts like cigarettes are literal. All right, so the word poison gets
You were.
thrown
Oh,
around
I thought you were gonna
a
say
lot,
cancer.
right?
Everyone acts
I
like
did
cigarettes
too.
are cancer. I thought that's the word that
Literally
you just
Oh, no,
called
they
himself.
cause cancer. I'm not disputing that. This isn't like a global warming denier kind of speech I'm giving here, but I'm just saying.
And we're on the same
Everybody-
page that cancer's bad for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. Most of the time, yeah. But I mean, what if you get cancer and like a thing you don't need?
Cancer and it's growing out of control.
Taylor, your
It's
game is
huge.
too high. I wrote it too.
Yeah.
I didn't seem to notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think they're that bad for you. I mean, we talked about real poisons a few weeks ago and how to make them for some reason. I didn't think that was a good idea. But things like ricin, where like some dose an infinitesimally small amount of ricin is just instant death. You're dead in a few hours. Meanwhile, there's a guy smoking 2 packs of cigarettes for 15 years, and he's got a cough. I get that some people get cancer and then it turns into lung cancer or emphysema, or they get their fucking throat box cut out and they die. But not everyone. What I'm saying is that real poison is when 100% of the people who try even a little of it fucking die.
So if
So
I
the
understand
FDA
this right, what we're
Hold on.
saying is that because ricin is worse than cigarettes aren't that bad.
No, what I'm saying is that
Where's the lie?
That to call to treat cigarettes like they're this absolute poisonous thing, where like if you smoke one a week or one a day even, which I don't think is a thing that people can actually do anyway. I think if
No.
A pack a day.
I've known so many smokers that were like they quit and then they're like, you know what? I'll smoke one a day, and then one a day turns into 1 pack a day within 10 days.
My great aunt or like great aunt or some shit. I'm right. You're right. I've never seen people do that. She literally for decades has smoked cigarettes, in her, late 70s probably, early, I don't even know. And I've watched her smoke them. She smokes those long ass like misties.
Yeah.
And she literally doesn't inhale them. She smokes them like the way Bill Clinton did weed or whoever did. Like she'll literally just sucks it into her mouth and blows it out. And it's like, this is, what are you doing?
Inefficient.
Yeah,
is what
at
it
least
is.
catch a buzz.
Well,
Like it.
She's
My
absorbing the
question
nicotine just at a smaller rate.
I like the way Obama smoked.
Some, like,
They asked
yeah.
Obama, like, did you smoke marijuana? And he said, yeah. And they're like, did you inhale? And he said, that was the point.
Yeah. And then they asked him, did you do cocaine? And he's like, yes, I did. I
Well,
snorted it
okay,
right up.
shit.
and everybody was okay with that.
Yeah,
I think
hilarious.
Did he admit?
Everybody was like, dude, he's so cool, does coke. Well, I want to win with the youth, and I know the cool drugs. Yeah, that was funny. Where like he got some guff for the menthol smoking thing, but I never saw him smoke a cigarette.
I
was
did.
He of his cigarette smoking back like behind on a secret?
No, I saw him smoking Marlboro Reds. I didn't see him smoke menthols.
Oh, I always heard the rumor was menthols, but I never
Well,
actually.
that's
Googled.
better.
That's
I'd rather
just
him not
racism
smoking
in one of your
menthols.
alt-right chat rooms, Taylor. That's all that is. That's all that is.
Pick that up in one of my crazy chat rooms.
Yeah, I could have sworn that I've seen him smoking.
Just
Yeah, I could have sworn I always saw him smoking Marlboro Reds. I could be wrong, but that'd be kind of embarrassing if he was smoking Newports, wouldn't it? Fall right into that stereotype.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't really know my cigarette stereotypes. They're all just
Yeah, I was
Black
unaware.
people smoke menthols.
poor people smoke cigarettes. Prove me wrong.
a lot of poor people do smoke cigarettes, but
It's
a lot of rich.
poor person
I don't-
thing. Like
But
Kyle
yeah,
thinks of people living in
very-
vans. I think of people smoking cigarettes.
Okay. I don't associate poor people with cigarettes because a lot of people smoke cigarettes in Los Angeles, and I have to say that I don't cigarettes are disgusting, but I think they look so cool, and that is so terrible.
Yeah, they do. They
like,
absolutely
if-
look cool.
I'm like, man, if you were not terrible and you were not like it was just the whole slew of problems, sure, but they're not
Yeah.
for me.
I prefer.
Don't let anybody ever tell you that smoking isn't cool.
Smoking
cool.
is pretty cool.
It's
very
bad
cool.
for you, but
It's not
very
good.
cool.
Yeah.
I prefer a woman who smokes.
That's
really.
not cool.
Absolutely.
That's gross. That's
not-
disgusting.
I figure that she's going to be down to do some stuff, and she always has a lighter on her.
Two things.
Okay.
One, if she smokes, she pokes is a thing that we worked with in high school. Two, when I did hook up with a smoker once, it was disgusting.
I'm kissing ashtrays. It's so nasty.
It is. I've heard the expression like kissing an ashtray, and then I did it, and it became a showstopper for me.
You kissed an ashtray?
That's just secondhand cool, is all that is.
No, I shouldn't even say that smoking, the act of smoking is cool. Like everything else is not. But like you see a cool Frenchman in the club smoking a cigarette, and you're like, man, that's cool. That's cool.
And I definitely don't think it's a poor person thing, because especially in certain areas of the country, because poor people can't afford to smoke. If you're talking about $10 a pack,
I'd say that there's a higher percentage of people who are poor that do smoke. Like if you broke up all the brackets, like it's definitely higher that way. But I also don't think when somebody's smoking a cigarette, I don't think you're working a minimum wage job or like you're not well off.
And I'm with you. Like every time I've been in LA, like especially if it's some sort of a movie set thing or some sort of like professional gig where there's like cameramen and directors and producers.
The cool people are smoking. Kyle.
Everybody's outside, and you look, and you're like, you smoke, and you all smoke. Oh, okay. And everybody smokes.
How do you think they keep those bodies? They're suppressing snacks. Yeah, cigarettes.
That's another one. If you're smoking and you're thin, you're cheating.
If you're smoking and you're fat, you've doubled down.
That's the real winner. If you're fat and smoking.
Now here's one that I won't tolerate: a girl who dips. Now I'm sure I don't know if you guys have ever even seen this.
Yes.
But in the South, you see this occasionally. It is a rare thing, okay? But there are definitely girls. I worked with a girl once. She dipped Copenhagen. She was cute. She was cute. She was good looking. She was kind of a tomboy, obviously, but she was fucking. She had a dip.
Copenhagen.
I'm so gay because I'm processing
the hardcore one.
I'm processing this in my head, and I'm like, all right, picture like some hot, like Daisy Duke with that characteristic worn out patch in her back pocket where the Copenhagen goes, and I can get on board with that, but the actual spitting and stuff, and that's disgusting.
My roommates in college.
Oh, just imagine she gives you a blowjob. She spits it on her hand first. She's using that for the loop, and you're getting a buzz. You're getting a buzz because you're absorbing it through your mouth.
My roommates in college used to dip too. Like 3 or 4 of the people in my hall would dip, whether it was snooze or just real dip, and they would leave their dip bottles full, like Mountain Dew bottles full of just spit everywhere, and it would smell disgusting, and it was just the worst. Like out of everything you could do with tobacco, that is the nastiest and not cool. There's
a common characteristic of people that dip. They underestimate how gross that bottle of spit is. Yeah. And it's not just gross like, oh, he did it last night and it's still in our living room. That's disgusting. But the mere fact that you're filling up that thing in my presence is pretty gross. You know?
Spit. It's a 16-ounce water bottle full of black spit. That's not. There's no other liquid in there. It's not water. It's just literally your saliva.
That's a considerate person, though. That's what you got. Don't forget the guy who's using the water bottle. Very considerate. God, my cousin would use a Dr. Pepper bottle, and so a hot summer's day, he and my dad are working, and they hop back in the truck. My dad's parched. He's thirsty. He's been working hard. He's been driving a tractor or something. He's been moving a hay bale. He's thirsty, and he looks and look at that. A Dr. Pepper, almost full. I bet it's still fizzy. Oh, he doesn't even drink regular soda, but damn, I could use some sugar right about now, right? Just vomiting. But he starts vomiting before he can get out of the truck. He's spitting it everywhere. He made Scott clean it all up. And there was a rule imposed from that day forward. You can only spit in bottles that in which the liquids are clear. Like only you spit in a Sprite bottle, Mountain Dew bottle, water bottle. You do not spit in a Pepsi bottle, a Coca-Cola bottle, Dr. Pepper bottle, none of that. There could be no more confusion.
Dude, I remember cleaning up after parties and such in high school or college, and I picking up having to clean up somebody's vomit. Gross, but there's a distance there between you and that. You get your paper towels and everything. You got your cleaning solution. Makes you feel a little invincible. Walking around, picking up, the bottles were gross enough. The dip cups, which is just a red Solo cup sitting there with sloshing liquid, and it having to pick those up, and then the movement of trying to get it to the trash would awaken that smell. It is I can watch people be beheaded without gagging. I can watch people shit without gagging. The only things that really disgust me on that level are dip spit and watching people eat boogers and snot.
Who here?
I don't know why it's those two things.
Who here besides Taylor and myself have cleaned up another person's vomit that wasn't like a child or a family member?
I've cleaned up somebody's shit last year. Somebody here, I don't think I've told this story. So my friend's having a moving out party. He had a really cool house in Beverly Hills. He was like, I'm going, so let's have everyone here, everyone that I know. So it's like 40 people, you know, I know half of them. The other half are from like his side of the other side of the friend group. And we walk in and it's raining, rare rain. It's like the springtime. And I go to the bathroom and like somebody had tracked mud in there, and so there was a bunch of mud on the floor, and so I'm peeing, avoiding the mud when I hear a knock on the door, and my friend goes, Tucker, and the way he said my name, I realized that just like everything really came to, it wasn't mud on the floor. He goes, somebody shit on the floor in that bathroom, and I looked around. It is truly like somebody took their shoes off and shook them all over the floor. And I was like, oh my God, like this is incomprehensible how this could have happened. And like nobody noticed. Like there's a lot of people here and only one bathroom being used. So I helped clean it up. And then I look in the trash can and there's a pair of pink panties in there. So I'm like, we have a culprit. There's some pantyless woman walking around who shit on the floor. And like the worst, there was a trail, like drop to the door. The door opens and there was shit outside of the door. That's why I was like, this isn't shit, this is mud.
That's a ballsy bitch.
How do you think this went down? Like, I don't think she purposely pooped all over the floor like the bandit.
Clearly
she had it.
No, it was liquid. It was clearly like could not hold it. But the fact that you couldn't like, I would never just stand up.
Did you want to track down this person and find who the culprit was?
I wanted to. They shit on the floor. What I mean, that's just childish behavior. I just wanted to say.
Actually, I would argue shitting on the floor is just an accident. Leaving the shit on the floor is where she went wrong.
And not doing anything. Right. She could have cleaned it up with the toilet paper. There was a towel. Worst case scenario, use the towel and fucking hide it underneath the sink. And that way, like, it's okay, fine, you did something.
Oh, but God, imagine what would grow on it under there.
I can remember at like 7 years old.
Corn sprouting.
Breaking something and then putting it back really crappy, hoping that whoever did it next would think they broke it. Like, I pulled the towel holder off the wall. I'll just put it on there, barely, so that when Tucker takes a towel, he'll think he did it. That would be the... That doesn't really work, though, for pooping on the floor.
No, I wanted to go up there
because other guy shit all over the bathroom.
Maybe Taylor will be like, I guess it was me.
We never found out. Sad.
You never found out. The other thing about smokers I'll put out, I don't know what goes through their head exactly, but they don't seem to consider cigarette butts to be litter like everybody else does, right? They'll toss it here and there. And I don't think they're tossing their like, I don't know, Big Mac wrappers just out casually, but with a cigarette butt, they don't think twice.
I never see biodegradable ones wrappers thrown around in like fairgrounds and things. Like just the other day, I went to some Anheuser-Busch here. The brewery has like a thing they do every winter where they like close off their giant area and they have like all the streets with lights and like they sell food and beer and shit. And I was there with some friends, and my girlfriend was like, man, it's really nice. There's no cigarettes around, because someone we were with was a smoker, and he was like, I got to go way over here to smoke. And like I looked around, and you do that first glance of an area, and you're like, man, I guess there really aren't any cigarettes. And then I spent, I don't know, an eighth of a second like zooming in, and I'm like, oh no, there's like 5 or 6. There's another 3. There's like 10 over there, and it's like, oh, okay, like these people really do. Like you're right. A lot of smokers don't consider it at all litter, and if you're a smoker, it is litter. You're littering.
Yeah, like you're totally littering.
You're fucking it up, man.
Those clips you see online of people who smoke a cigarette in the car, and there's like a cop they don't know about behind them, and they throw the butt out, and then the cop pulls them over. I like those videos.
Littering and
littering.
Littering and people would work on our house. Like when we first got it, we had a lot of renovations done before we moved in, and they weren't leaving their bottles of Gatorade out in the yard. They weren't leaving, the wrappers for their food, or they have little honey buns or whatever they ate before they started working in the morning. But cigarette butts, there were like, 20, 30 of them in the grass, and it's not like those disappear. They're there.
Yeah, it depends where you are. Like I was always like, sometimes I'd be somewhere where it's like, yeah, this is a flick it and forget it kind of a an area we're in here, but I definitely have been at people's places smoking cigarettes and been like, probably shouldn't flick this. And it's take the cigarette out of your mouth, put it out on the bottom of your shoe, make sure it's good and out, and then put it in your fucking pocket. I just put them in my pocket, and then at the end of the day, I'd have a pocket full of cigarette butts to dispose of. But I felt like maybe they even saw me do that. I was like, oh, look how considerate that guy is. That's a nice guy.
That is a considerate thing.
And he puts out.
Everyone I know that's been in the military that smokes, every single one of them is super conscientious of like not throwing their cigarette butts on the ground. I guess it's, in their world, you just don't do that. They don't litter with cigarette butts. And
those military guys are not conscientious about dip spit cups and bottles at all. I think that must be just a dip person thing, because my most courteous of courteous friends who would never do something as rude as to even point over a Chipotle or Qdoba glass counter at the ingredient they wanted. They would ask for it politely. They would never even do that. They'll leave open cups of spit around and not even realize how gross it is. Oh, it's awful.
I wish there was something
you dip do. Fuck you.
Yeah, what could
Honestly,
I do?
Fuck you.
Fuck you and your addiction. Yeah. What could we do as non-dippers? Leave a cup of something nasty at their house.
Would it be worse to just fill a cup of spit? No. Would it be worse to just fill a cup of non-dip spit and leave it there? Like, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't even have a reason to leave spit there. It's
just have cups of spit around.
Like, why would you do this?
Why? But why, Tucker? Well, I wanted to teach you a lesson. Did you learn anything?
I think you leave cups of piss laying around. I think that's the payback, right? I had to go. Oh. Why didn't you go to the bathroom? Do you go to the bathroom every time you spit? Please.
There's a streamer that pisses in bottles. And like,
what's her name?
Him.
Oh,
that's
but still, he. I'm just saying, I've never pissed in a bottle before or a cup.
You've never pissed in a bottle, like when you're having to.
The worst
something. No, you've never had to try and pee in a bottle and get it all over yourself driving.
No, I was gonna just say the worst is that I had to go to the bathroom really bad one time. I couldn't hold it in downtown Los Angeles, so I got out and I peed in a parking garage, and that was like,
urinator.
But yeah, that was
garage is not exposed
for that.
to
You
weather.
can become a sex offender like that. You don't want to fuck around with peeing in public. I usually have a Gatorade, because of the way Atlanta traffic is. I usually have a Gatorade bottle in my vehicle, and I have gotten great at pissing in the car. I get my pants down, not to my knees. I'm not Butters, right? They're not down around my ankles or anything, but I pull them down. Okay, there's no need to just
get
pop
under the
cock
butt
out.
cheek a little bit. I see.
And I elevate myself a little bit, get a little bit high, and I with my thumb on the back of my cock, I get it, and like these two fingers cupping like the rim of the bottle, I make sure that my cock stays in the bottle.
Do you have a visual aid you can show us this move with?
You just mush it in there.
Can you get a hot dog in a bottle?
Can you catch a snake?
You get the whole cock in there.
The whole cock in there.
Wait, what happens if you piss? Have you ever filled it?
All right, I'll tell you
That's
what
how I do it, but I have a can of soda.
I have.
Wait, what do you mean? Ow!
I'm just teasing.
No, so if it starts getting too full, I stop. I have to stop, and you have to be very careful with like pinching it off, because as soon as you let go, whatever's left is just gonna and like spray all over your pants there in the car. That's happened before. But so what you want to do, but then you got to dump piss out the window in traffic. And I'm looking in the rearview mirror like, is this the kind of person who would judge an unknown yellow liquid being poured out of a Gatorade bottle here on Interstate I-85? Like, are they going to have an issue with this? And if I don't think they will, just right out the window. I don't care if it gets on the car door or whatever. Just get it out.
Let me ask this. What is traffic doing while you're peeing and pouring? Are you stop and go? Are you at 30? Are you at 80?
Certainly not at 80, because then you get like all that crazy wind. It blows everywhere and it can get back on you, and it definitely gets all over the side of the car. I want to be going slow, like 25 tops if I'm pouring.
That's an attentive driving situation though, right? Because at 80,
that's what I'm saying.
I could argue at 80, what the driver needs to do is less.
No, at 80, you're throwing that out there, and you're effectively painting the car behind you with mist.
For the pour, but not for the pee.
For the pissing. See, this is why my technique is so important. Let me grab a Gatorade bottle. We're gonna
We're gonna see.
All right. Well, this
Kyle's
one's going to get demonetized.
I want to know what he comes back with. I hope he has a hot dog, and not just a he doesn't have a. He has a hot dog. I think he heard me.
That would be hilarious.
Yes.
I can imagine what he's doing. He's saying you hook your fingers around the back of it, and then you just mush the head of
I
your
get it.
dick.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to paint a very vivid picture for the listeners out there who won't have the benefit of seeing Kyle mash his cockhead into the opening.
God, I'm excited for this one.
I know he's good at it. I've watched him do it.
Hey, it's got a talent, they say.
Everybody gets something.
So, with these two fingers, you get the rim of the bottle like so. Now, it's important that you have this. Sorry, the camera.
Where's the pivot?
You want to angle down, because if you're peeing in a bottle like this, it takes very little urine before you're pouring urine all over your balls. So that's why you have to elevate yourself up out of the seat a little bit, so that you can get that pivot on the bottle. Keep it low. Now, with your thumb.
Now, for those of you who aren't watching, Kyle has placed a hot dog into the opening of the Gatorade.
Please make this a highlight, legitimate.
Wow, it's so vivid.
Now,
and so you put your penis that far down into it, do you?
No choice.
He's got 9 inches. You can't just put one. Yeah.
It's a remarkably long and thin penis.
And then when you're done, you just roll it back up. Now, so you get it in there, and your thumb is sort of pressing on the back of your cock, making sure that it doesn't pop out and go crazy town on you, turn into a sprinkler. Because in the heat of traffic, you can't do anything about that. You just got to sit there and get warm and wet. That's what's going to happen. So you're holding it in there like this, maintaining the pivot, very important. And when we get up to about, this level, it's time to pour. Okay?
Wow, you really don't give yourself
so you're
a lot
of stop the stream if you have to.
You have to stop the stream. Now, that could require a couple of things. Now, sometimes...
You look like you practice Kegels.
Now, sometimes... That's an old hot dog, too. I'm not kidding.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
I'll just make sure I get all the pee out of my system if I'm finishing. But if I'm stopping in the middle, I got to pinch it off. All right? So we get our cock out. Oh, there's a hair on it. Where'd that even come from?
That puberty.
All right. Oh, it's a big long one. That ain't even my hair. And, you get it pinched off. And then you have to, it's hard now because you have one hand in your lap pinching your cock off.
Your dick's hard or the situation has become difficult?
Both. Because we're in public and this is a bit of a fetish for me. Yeah. So now we're driving with our knees and reaching over with our left, getting that window down, dumping our piss out, and we're going back in. We're going back in. We're going back in for more. All the while, we're keeping an eye out for truckers because they love to see this sort of thing. They're always looking for a lot lizard that they can crack open like a coconut at some low-rent motel.
A lot lizard.
Yeah, a lot lizard, yeah. That's what they call us.
That's what they call us. I like picturing you just enjoying being seen peeing so much that you're just aimlessly like sitting in parking lots waiting to have to pee. And then you start to drive.
I don't want anyone No, I don't want anyone to see me.